Every everyone, it is Shenee Woodson of Shenee Shares and His Favor Ministries, and I am here today for a very special broadcast. I know you all have not seen me in a while doing almost like nothing but posting. It is IIH Awareness Month. We are on the last 2 days, so I could not let this month go by without talking to you all about this chronic illness, bringing some people on to share their journey, and also to enlighten you about maybe you should go see the doctors if you are having some of these symptoms. I will say this before we get started. So please keep all of us in prayer. Do you know it's been taking a minute to get all of us together to be able to share with you all due to hospitalization, symptoms, some of us being sick, etc. However, we are here today to talk to you about idiopathic intracranial hypertension, also known as pseudotumor cerebri. So let me tell you something. I have a co-host that is coming on in just a few. I am going to play a quick video, and then when she comes on, we are going to get this show on the road. Before we do that, however, guess what I need you all to do? Because I'm going to do the same thing. You see my phone? Let's see. Have my phone here. I want you all, if you're watching right now, to share. Let people know that we are on right now. All right, so I'm going to go to my, Shenee Shares page and some other pages, and I'm going to start sharing to different groups. I'm going to share it to my family and friends to let them know to watch this, because this is something that may not be as popular, but as you will find out, there are people out there that actually do know about this, but may not be comfortable enough to say what is really going on. So let me see. Join us now. That's what I'm going to put. And I'm going to start sharing in groups. Here we go. Let me see. Hopefully my phone will work with me here. All right. Share. Join us now. I'm sharing. Join us now. Just go down, show all your friends, family, let them know to join us. I'm going to do a few more groups. Do you remember when Facebook actually used to let you do more than one at one time? I don't think it does that anymore, but I know at one time you could. All right. And we're also going to have some pop-up visits, hopefully between today and tomorrow, of some other influential people when it comes to this journey and spreading awareness. Michelle Glick will be with us either today or tomorrow. She's going to let me know which day she's going to come on in a text message in a few. She is the founder of IIH Warriors. I asked her to join us as well. So hopefully she'll be able to come on either today or tomorrow. So let's see if she pops on either day. But I just say this, don't miss either day. All right. And I know this is IIH Awareness Month, but we are not going to stop with just this month. We are going to continue this over and over again. This is not the last you will see myself or the lady that I'm about to bring on after this video. I'm going to share one more group. April, I'm coming with you. Give me a second. All right. It's one more group I got here. I think I'm going to share with them. I'm going to say join us now. And for those who are tuning in later, welcome. We are talking about idiopathic intracranial hypertension. All right. IIH. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to show a quick clip, and then I'm going to bring my co-host, the lady of the hour, April Normandy. Okay, here we go. Bear with me, y'all. It has been y'all know I'm transparent. Those who have been following me for a while, you know I'm very transparent. And my my producer is not here with me today. So bear with me. I love y'all. Bye.
I've been running through rain that I thought would never end, trying to make it on faith in a struggle against the wind. I've seen the dark and the broken places, oh, but I know in my soul, no matter how bad it gets, I'll be alright. There's hope in front of me, there's a light, I still see it. There's a hand still holding me, even when I don't believe it. I might be down, but I'm not there. There's better days still up ahead, even after all I see. There's hope in front of me, yeah. There's a place at the end of the storm you finally find, where the hurt and the tears and the pain all fall behind. You open up your eyes and up ahead there's a big sun shining. Right then and there you realize you'll be alright. There's hope in front of me, there's a light, I still see it. There's a hand still holding me, even when I don't believe it. I might be down, but I'm not there. There's better days still up ahead, even after all I see. There's hope in front of me, yeah, yeah. There's a hole still burning, I can feel it rising through the night, and the world's still turning. I can feel your love, you're by my side. Oh, you're my heart, your light, I still see it. Your hands are holding me, even when I don't believe it. I got to believe, I got to believe. I still have hope, you are my hope. Oh.
Wow. Again, if you are joining us, you are here to help us just bring more awareness to IIH, Idiopathic Intracranial Hypertension. That video really just gave a glimpse of what it entails. And I am about to bring on someone that I met literally like I think 2 weeks ago. And she just blew my mind at the fact of just simply how she is already bringing awareness. She's so detailed with her research. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to meet this woman. I've been diagnosed with intracranial hypertension. Those of you who've been following me, who know my story already, I will talk about it briefly to those who are tuning in. However, but I want you to get to know this wonderful woman that I'm about to bring on. April, weather in April. I'm telling you, that's why I came outside. It looks like the fall behind me, but we're going to pretend it's April. April shower, bring May flowers. My birthday is in April. Okay, so we're going to just act like a little bit of sunshine, maybe a little sprinkle of rain is coming. All right, but I'm going to bring her on. Welcome, April. How art
Hi.
thou?
Thank you for having me. You've already
Of
made me
course.
smile.
Of course, of course. Well, I do want to read a little bit of what you gave me, and then I'm gonna go from there. You are from Louisiana, married 10 years, a mother of a brilliant 5-year-old son. Oh, we love that. That age, I have an 11-year-old, so I actually missed that 5-year-old. But anyway, in 2017, you developed a rare neurological condition called IIH. This is what we are here to talk about, and which inspired you to begin your own health and wellness outreach, which I just stated is just Weather in April. And I'm going to ask you soon, where did you come up with that name? Um, you owe all of everything to Jesus. That's another thing that stuck out to me. Being a Christian myself, it's like, wow, that really brought my attention to you. And it says, I hope everything brings glory to him. Amen. Amen. So welcome again, April.
Thank you.
I want to start off Weather in April. What brought on that name, Weather in April?
That was difficult to do. And honestly, I stole the first part from my husband because he used to do graphic design called weather design. And I thought this was going to be a joint project, but he wanted me to learn on my own.
Okay.
So I was like, I like the name Weather. I want to be able to use my name. And if you think about the weather, it's unpredictable. You have good days, you have bad days. And I said, isn't that like chronic illness? Isn't that like this condition? So it's just kind of talking about how the weather is in my life while spreading awareness for others.
Good. And when did you first find out, when you were first diagnosed? I'll just say that.
So
age.
I'll just go back to the beginning if that's okay.
Yeah.
When I had my son, my 5-year-old son, the epidural actually went too far and caused a spinal fluid leak, which is low pressure. And they patched it a few days later, but I still had symptoms for a few more months until they eventually rebounded into high pressure symptoms. So I actually developed intracranial hypertension a few months after having him. This was in 2017.
Wow.
And I fought really hard. Like it said in the video, that getting diagnosed can be very difficult. But I was diagnosed officially in October of 2017. So it took me about 9 months or so.
Oh, wow.
From the beginning.
Wow. Yeah. So, and what emotions was going through your mind when they told you? I know, people say, oh, I didn't know what to say, but what your emotional state at that present time?
It fluctuated a lot. First off, I'll admit I was very angry and even bitter about what had happened. It was an accident at the hospital and I couldn't get anyone to believe me that something was wrong. They said it was allergies, or even meningitis or just migraine or headaches. And I was frustrated that I couldn't get anyone to believe me. But then I finally found a doctor who did believe me and wanted to run the test. And we did the spinal tap, which showed intracranial hypertension. And at that point, I just felt relief. It sounds silly, but I even told the anesthesiologist that I was excited and I was happy that we finally had proof that something was wrong. So I guess that's not most people's reaction, is to have joy, but I was happy.
Yeah, and I'm glad you stated that because I'm diagnosed as well, and it was like a sense of relief and a little. They probably think we're crazy, like joy. Like at least I know what it is, and I'm not crazy. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Like these are more than it's more than what meets the eye. This is not normal. And I felt the same way. It was like a little piece came over me, like wow, at least I know what it is.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you that too, because the fact that some doctors are still not believing, and you're not the first person to say that. Why do you think doctors are still not fully putting their foot when it comes to IIH, like really doing their research and seeing that there is something wrong?
Well, it is a very rare condition. And there's a saying in the medical field that if you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. Don't immediately think the rarest thing is what is happening. Let's rule out every other possibility first. So that happens a lot. For me, the difficult thing was I'm not overweight. And usually in this case, people can be overweight with this condition. So they didn't really think that I had it. And I also trying to explain how I thought it rebounded from low pressure. They were like, I don't think it works that way, but it does.
Oh my
I've
goodness.
found the neurological journals that it does. But I think that doctors just try to rule out the easiest ways possible, the most likely thing possible before going to the worst case scenario.
And what are some of the things they tried to rule out?
They thought I had allergies, which I've never had in my life. At one point, they thought it was meningitis because the symptoms can be so similar. They thought it was just migraine, which I've never even really had headaches before. So I've never experienced that before. Those were the main things. Of course, they did a CT scan, so maybe they had some concern that there could have been an actual tumor. Like you said, this condition is pseudotumor. It means false brain tumor. So those were just the main things that they tried to rule out. But I kept pushing the entire time that no, it's something with my spinal fluid being messed up. I just didn't know what it was exactly.
And I do want to ask you this because I see on social media, like you're really, what said, hey, instead of me sitting around saying, oh, I got this rare brain disorder, what prompted you to just say, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to spread awareness. I'm going to tell more people, what's going on with me. What sparked that desire?
I didn't want anyone to feel the way I felt. I didn't want anyone else to have to go through all of those ropes to try to find answers. I didn't want anyone to question what was wrong with them or to feel like they were alone in this. I had no idea all the people that were out there with this condition, and I felt like the last person on earth when they told me it was rare. I did not want anyone to feel that way. And at the same time, God had done so much through the experience that I just had to let it be known. So this was kind of a way to share with others how you can have physical health, but also how God can strengthen your spiritual health through it. So it's kind of a dual purpose.
I hear you. And I want to ask you this because there are other people who are coming on, and even though there's other people coming on, myself, you, and I believe one other person, as far as our faith is concerned, we're Christians, we believe in Jesus. How has that come into play with saying, hey, maybe someone's saying I have IH, but I'm just having hope compared to I believe in Jesus and he's going to heal me, compared to how maybe we think and how you're incorporating that into maybe ministry.
It is very difficult because I can understand. I've had questions myself. This has really shifted my faith. Just wondering, why won't God heal me? Why would God allow this? Questioning him, are you real? And it's like, I've seen what he can do through this. I've seen the miracles he's done through this, the people he's reached. And there was a comfort and a peace and a security through it. I didn't always feel him there, but I did know his presence was there through it, which gave me that supernatural peace. And I want others to feel that same way. And I can't make anyone feel that. I just want him to reach them through it. So it is very difficult, and I hope to be able to help eventually with people who question those things or who have been told you're sick because God's punishing you, or maybe if you just had more faith, you would be healed. I kind of want to help break those stigmas and make people feel not so excluded like that.
Yeah, and because again, I felt the same, like, I want to put it out there to know I have it and I've been diagnosed, but at the same time, it's like, I'm praying for healing, etc. And it's rare. It's a chronic illness. I'm like, yeah, but the God I serve,
Right.
And it's not saying it's hard, but I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring people to believe what I'm believing, but at the same time, I'm still not being fearful to say that at the same time, because we still want to bring awareness, and we know bringing awareness is also going to bring other people from different faiths that have it as well. So that's why I wanted to ask you, how are you going about that?
That has been the hardest part. And I've written multiple posts on it because at one point it was, people lay hands on the sick and they'll be healed, and people would pray over me and say you're healed. And there were times where I stepped out in faith. I stopped all my medication and I wanted to walk it out. And I ended up back in the hospital, and it's like, well, you just look like a hypocrite. And those are the lies that the enemy tells you, that you're fake to people. And God's like, no, I'm just not done with your story. Had I healed you then, none of this would have happened. Or there's a beauty in suffering for His glory. I like I said, I was bitter about what happened to me. Now I'm so thankful because I've been able to reach so many people and just talk with so many people. That alone makes it worth it.
Yes, thank you. I found somebody who has the same mindset as me. Thank you. But
it's whatever He wants to do. It's His story.
Exactly. And I do want to ask you this, because mental health is on a rise, the awareness of that. How has IH been affecting your mental health, if at all?
Very much so. Because you do go through a lot of emotions, and I say a lot that this is like the same as when you experience loss. You go through the stages of grief, denial and anger and eventually acceptance. But I went through all those stages, and it's like a roller coaster of emotions. And when you're trying everything to get that healing and it never happens, or you think it happens and it just falls through, it really takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on your relationships, your finances, everything that you touch, it affects. So I did experience very down times. I was in a period of depression where, I will be honest, I wanted to die. And there was nothing that, not even my son, who was a baby at the time, he was not even enough to make me want to live, because the pain was just so unbearable. And if there's no escape, you don't know what else you can do. And that's a period in time where God stepped in and pulled me out of that, thankfully, because you do start to feel hopeless. Yeah, but there is hope.
And I'm glad you said that, because I don't think people understand really the emotions that's going on, the mental state that's really going on. Because there have been periods of same thing that I'll just stare at the ceiling like, why am I here? Mm-hmm. And then, suicide is selfish. I understand that, but I don't want to be here, dealing with this. And I've had moments where my mom would even have to get on the phone with me and pray hard.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah.
I'm like, Mom, help me. She's like, and crying, like, she belongs here, and just wanting to end my life. It's been that bad. And like you said, and trying to prove that God healed me, so I won't take the medication. One, I don't like how it makes me feel.
Right.
I'm drowsy, especially with, I'm sure you're just like me. You have a lot to do during the day, and it's like, if I take all this medication, I'm drowsy. I can't perform like I want to perform. And it's just not helping me be productive. I don't want to take it. So, and as long as I don't have a headache, I'm good. As long as I can see, I'm okay. And then I find myself having to be right back on it again. Like, no. Like, I thought I healed you. I thought you was okay. Like, I'll be quiet. But I do want to ask you this. Have you ever had the spinal tap? And if so, how many times?
I think it was about 6, because I had the epidural, and then they did the blood patch. And then I had the diagnosing spinal tap. Mm-hmm. Then they did one where they tried to pull off fluid. Then they did one where I was actually hooked up to it for several days. Wow. It's called an ICP monitoring. So it's like a drain to see how your pressure fluctuates. And then I had one right before my shunt. So I think it was 6 total.
Okay. Yeah. Can you please tell people how it feels? I really want people to know it's not just me.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. Okay. I do okay with them. Okay. Which is ironic, since the first lumbar puncture I had started all of this. Wow. But they're actually, to me, I compare them to dental work, where you feel that sting when they numb you, and then it's like a pressure while they do the tap. I don't really have bad experiences with them, but I know a lot of people do. Not everybody does, but a lot of people do, that they can be very painful. They can be pain that lingers afterwards. You could end up with a low pressure headache, pain down your leg. It varies. But thankfully mine were good. So I hope to provide hope to others that yours can be good too.
Yeah, I did a post actually like almost in tears one day. And what happened with me, April, they had a student doctor
Oh
with
yeah.
me for the first time, and she was on the wrong side. So I was feeling every single, and I kept saying something's not right. I started crying. I was like, I'm feeling every little pinch and pain. I mean, hyperventilating and everything. So they had to bring the neurologist in. I guess her teacher, bring him in, and he went, and I heard him whisper, "You're on the wrong side." I almost jumped out the table and said, "Are you serious right now?" I knew something wasn't right.
Oh
And
man.
she said, "Oh, okay." And then they heard it still hurt, but I think ever since then, in my brain, the other few times I've had, I still feel like she was doing it. So
Yeah.
it's like I have to get it out of my system. Like, okay, this is not the student doctor. It's somebody else doing it. So when I went to another hospital and had it done, she wasn't bad. She went right in and did it, but in my head was thinking, oh no, she's gonna hurt me like the other one did. So it's something I have to get over. Like, if a kid have a bad dream, they keep
Right. It's
over and
like
over again.
trauma from the
Yeah, so
experience.
it's a little trauma there for me. So I'm already flinching up. Like, are you a
Yeah.
student?
Now, one thing that does help is if you can get it done under fluoroscopy, where it's guided so they can see exactly where they're going in. That brings me a lot more peace and comfort than just a blind tap, where
Yeah.
they're just like, sticking it in.
Mhm. Well, the second and third, fourth time, yeah, they had that. The first one, like I said, I was like, oh no, that was my first experience with it. So
Yeah, not a good start.
yeah, I was like, oh no. But I do want to ask you this, and the reason why I'm asking, because most of the other people who are coming on, especially tomorrow, they also have another chronic illness or something else that's wrong with them. Are you experiencing that, or have something else involved?
No.
That's something I've been asking, because it's like one other person has IH plus chronic Crohn's disease.
Mhm.
One other person has IH plus MS. I'm like, is there something
So,
linked? It's like, what is going on
right.
here?
And it can be idiopathic where we just don't know. I'm
Mhm.
kind of a different case because I know what caused mine. I know how it all
Okay.
started. But there can be a link between all of the medications that are prescribed for the other conditions.
Mm.
Some medications can increase intracranial pressure. So that could be a reason. But I do see some that kind of go in line, like a lot of people have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome,
Mhm.
which can cause leaks or high pressure. A lot of people tend to have POTS.
Mhm.
So I do see a lot of links too, and I wonder, is there a connection? A lot of people are anemic
Mhm.
or have sleep apnea, so there are different factors that relate.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to ask you that, because I'm dealing with that. I have that plus PCOS,
Mm-hmm.
and they just told me, I'm anemic as well. So I'm like, okay. And then like I said, some of the other people that's coming on tomorrow, and as time progresses, have other illnesses or ailments that's affecting them along with this. I'm like, is this something like a thing? If so, then there's something that needs to be looked into even more.
Definitely.
Besides, because like, it's like, why do I have to have one thing and something else? Because when they told me, they was like, oh, and you also have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There
And
could even be a hormonal link there.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm definitely thinking that, because of the PCOS,
Mm-hmm.
as well. So you're on it, Dr. April. 'Cause that's the same thing I'm thinking.
I'm not a doctor. Just disclaimer.
Yeah. But I do want to ask you this, because, like I said, what attracted me to you is how detailed you are in your research. What is the drive to like do so much research? Like, I research, but I do just enough to say, oh, okay, I get it. But you like really get into it, and I love that about you. Like, what is the drive to really dive into what this is already entailed? What's everything that's entailed?
I think I really like puzzles, and I like to solve them. I've always liked mysteries, and I want to know what the solved answer is. So for this being such a mystery and so rare, I want to know, and it drives me up a wall to not know, to not have the answers. So I'm digging everywhere I can to find them. It's also very important for me to not give misinformation, but to try to get as close to the facts as possible, which is hard because this condition, it's it's very different for everybody. There are no absolutes. Nothing is certain. So I just want to know. I want them to find a cure. And if we can all put our heads together and do our research together, then I think we'll end up there one day.
I hear you. Well, we're going to transition for a minute. What I want to do is play the video again for those who are going to chime in, and then me and you are just going to chat. We're just going to chat. All right. So everyone, watch the video if you have not seen it already, and we will be back with you. Hopefully we'll get some other
I've been running through rain that I thought would never end, trying to make it on faith in a struggle against the wind. I've seen the dark and the broken places, oh, but I know in my soul, no matter how bad it gets, I'll be alright. There's hope in front of me. There's a light, I still see it. There's a hand still holding me, even when I don't believe it. I might be down, but I'm not dead. There's better days still up ahead. Even after all I see, there's hope in front of me, yeah. There's a place at the end of the storm you finally find, where the hurt and the tears and the pain all fall behind. You open up your eyes and up ahead there's a big sun shining. Right then and there you realize you'll be alright. There's hope in front of me. There's a light, I still see it. There's a hand still holding me, even when I don't believe it. I might be down, but I'm not dead. There's better days still up ahead. Even after all I see, there's hope in front of me, yeah, yeah. There's a hole still burning. I can feel it rising through the night, and the world's still turning. I can feel your love, you're by my side. Oh, you're my hope. Your light, I still see it. Your hands are holding me, even when I don't believe it. I got to believe. I got to believe. I still have hope. You are my hope. Oh.
All right, everyone. So we are just going to chit chat. One thing I would like to say is I apologize. I just found out that we have been not seen for a little while. So if you can do me a favor, you all, and switch over to YouTube, we are going to take this link and it is going to be blasted in the e-blast tomorrow, our newsletter, so that you can meet April a little more and get to see this. We currently have 2.3K, yay, people in the newsletter signed up, so you all will see it, and I will also play it again on the Shenee Shares, and I'm going to give the link also to April to share it on her platform as well. We apologize. I didn't know that many people were unable to see it, so this is the replay. You will catch it and get the link and as soon as we're done. However, I'm going to just take this time and those of you who've been watching me since I've been going live now, y'all used to the magazine. I'm not doing the magazine no more, sorry. But I take this time out to just exit the stage and let the other person have the floor. So April, you now have 3 to 5 minutes to just speak to the audience. Anything that's on your heart, anything you want to say, any encouragement. I know you are a woman of God, so I'm just going to let him use you. And I'm going to go over here, sit back, put my feet up, and just listen to you. And I am just open to what you have to say. Everybody, this is April Normand and my new buddy, Weather in April. Follow her. At the end, I will put her information up so you can follow her on social media, etc. April, you can have the mic.
Okay, so I was diagnosed with intracranial hypertension in 2017, and it was definitely a roller coaster of an experience because I tried everything to first be believed that something was wrong. And then even after receiving my diagnosis, I still struggled to find treatment. I thought that would lead to my cure and my relief, but it didn't. And I ended up very, very sick within that year. No treatment was working. Even brain surgery was not a success. But it drew me closer to God because in those early days, God showed me that all of this was going to be for Him. And that was hard to believe when I thought that growing closer to Him would heal me. I thought if I just, grow closer to Him, my healing's going to come, and it didn't. And He just continued to show me things through this experience. And I hit rock bottom with this. Like I said, brain surgery wasn't even successful for me. No medication worked. I ended up losing my home. I could not drive anymore. There were so many days that I was in bed that I couldn't even be with my family. And we ended up having to move out, and I couldn't work anymore. I lost my job. So we really didn't have much income. So we hit rock bottom. And at that point, I just said, where are you now, God? How are you going to fix this one? But He did, because I feel like our lives have been changed. There's a scripture that says, I will restore to you what the locusts have eaten. And that is exactly what He did, because now we're in the city we've always dreamed of living, where our family is growing with just everyone is moving out here by us, and I'm able to do this outreach with others and meet so many people, even though I'm not fully healed, even though I just had brain surgery again last year, and I'm still having to take medication sometimes, and I'm still having to really watch what I do. I tried to start driving. I'm struggling with that. Life's never going to be perfect, but when you realize that He's with you, walking it through you, it makes it worth it. When you see the miracles that He's done, you can rest assured He's going to do them again. He's always present. You might not always feel Him, but He's always present. You might not always feel healed, but there are times that you don't always feel saved either. And that doesn't mean that you lack faith in Him. He can use your experience no matter what it is. And there is purpose in this. It might be difficult to see it. So if I could share anything with people, it's in those days when you feel hopeless and you feel alone, try to keep your focus on the hope that lies before you, because it is there, and there's so much that He can do through your life. Even the worst, the devil tries to harm us, but God turns it around for good, because that is what He desires for us. He does not desire for any of us to be sick or to have broken bodies. He desires a broken spirit, and that's one that He can completely transform and renew until we have our glorified bodies in heaven. So if you can just keep close to Him and seek Him through this experience, and just know that He is with you through it. That is the main thing. That is the whole purpose for this is, yes, we are going to find a cure for this condition, and we are going to spread awareness. But I feel like even God is using my experience to help with that. and all of the people that I've met, you have all made it so worth it to go through this. I have no regrets. So if you're struggling, please know that we're here for you. As Shenee said, you can find us at Weather in April on social media or our website, and you can reach out at any time because we really want to be there for you. So just know you're not alone. And that's the main thing that I want to share, that I want people to know. I don't know if Shenee's going to pop back up or not, because that was kind of impromptu.
I kind of didn't want to. Can I tell you how much you just encouraged me? Just with some things that you were just saying in regards to why this has happened. And just to be at peace with that. Because that, as a Christian myself, like I said, that's been the struggle. Like, God, you're supposed to heal me, but I'm still walking around with this thing. Like, and it seems almost at times hypocritical. And then, people saying, well, if you're a Christian, why are you pushing that you have it? You're supposed to be claiming that you don't. It's like, but I do. And I still have, and when I say I don't, then I'm getting kickback from the other side. So you just encourage me. You just don't even know. So again, everything happens in divine order. So it's a reason why things happen the way they did, and you went first.
And if I could add one more thing, we briefly touched on it, but about how we feel the urge to get off of medication as Christians, because God's our ultimate healer, and that is true. But when I struggled with that thought, and I thought that I didn't need the medication, God pointed me to King Hezekiah in the Old Testament, how he was sick and he was dying, and God's way of healing him was, go take these herbs, go take this medication, and he was healed. And that really showed me it's okay. God can heal you different ways. Jesus healed different ways. So it's not a sin to take medication, and you're not less a believer for doing that. Of course, God will show everybody differently how he wants to go about it. But that was something I struggled with. So I just wanted to encourage others in that area.
Like I said, it encouraged me too. So let me go in here and take my medication. But all jokes aside, but definitely. Again, thank you so much, April. I've also got word that Hazel actually is trying to get on. We have a woman that I also met. Actually, it's been a year now. Me and her have been trying to get together, but it's hard because she's in London. And she's actually legally blind already. Those who don't know, IH can also cause blindness as well, if not treated accordingly. I'm not saying she didn't treat it. I'll let her share her own story. So hopefully she can get on time. She just texted me and said she's trying to get on. But if not, I'll hang out a little bit. If not, we'll grab her for tomorrow as well. I didn't want to hold nobody up because I know I said we're going to, have certain times that people are going to be on. But again, please reach out to April. This is not just about me. I know we on my platform. However, this platform is being used for other people because it's not about me. It's not about Shenee Shares, but it's about so many people that are dealing with this. It is rare. However, if you look at some of the Facebook groups out there, there's one group, I think it's like 2.3K people in it that have IH, people that's dealing with all over the world. So please, if you know somebody that's having some symptoms and they're telling you, no, it's something more, believe them. Go to a doctor that's been studying this and say, no, I know you testing me for all this other stuff, but see if I have check.
Advocate for yourself.
See if I have any. I heard these two ladies talk about this, and I think it might be it. The things they were saying, if it's not, at least I know it's not. But yes, it's some other brain disorders out there that I will bring up tomorrow. I have a friend also that she said she might pop up. She has Sierra malfunction. as well. So other brain disorders that we are finding out that are pretty rare, but more people are stepping up saying that they have it. So again, April, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You will see more of April because guess what? She's the co-host. So she's with us tomorrow, and I'm excited to have her. You will see her do other things. We have some other things brewing. This is not just for the month. There's some conference calls coming up with some key people that I have reached out to within the next week to have some other.
So bad seeing her being put in isolation. Psychology degree. She just kept screaming. Coach license. There's nothing I can do to train her, and I teach managing stress. But here it is. I end up in a place more intimate than I could ever imagine. I don't think I can't shake it. Just can't. Even if there's no future, so that I don't want to. What is going on with me? I just cannot seem to live with who used to make me hate his music. I'm insecure. It's too right. Yeah. With a female at 5 o'clock in the morning. How did that make me insecure?